Oh. Hashtag strong hook. Midnight to 0:15. Asterisk, ek witness enikaha, suspect kakoy ankin hai nahi thane. AAP sakrahi hanya kai's mumkin hai. Magar joas an deka. Asasi pori reality hill guy, or yakahani apko a shak deji jo AP kabi bull nai sakinj. Asterisk suspenseful tone, asterisk short, punchy sentences. Asterisk visual cue suggestion, asterisk dimly lit street, shadowy figure, close-up of empty eye sockets. Asterisk audio cue suggestion, asterisk low whispering background, heartbeat sound to increase tension. Hashtag mid-story call to action. Approximate 20 to 30% into video. Asterisk, Agar AAP is Kahani Ka Pura Sach Sanachathain, or AC or be chilling story Sanachathain. To ubby subscribe, carrying or comment main apna idea, be share carrying ku apko sabasi zayat account si cheese darati high. Asterisk placement suggestion, asterisk jab protagonist pali daf entity a hollow-eyed figure ka samnakarta high. Your photos could have seen shuru odhain. Asterisk tone, asterisk calm, slightly mysterious, lecking compelling enough to engage. Absolutely. Here's a full YouTube voiceover script for your story idea, written for a cinematic, suspenseful true crime / ghost story style. Title asterisk the witness said the suspect had no eyes. /hook, midnight to 0:05, asterisk, he was standing right there, but the witness swore he had no eyes. How is that even possible? Asterisk, / suspenseful setup, 0:05 to 0:45. It was a quiet neighborhood, the kind where everyone knows everyone. But that night, something was off. A young woman walking home from her shift saw him. A man, or something that looked like a man, lurking in the shadows. Her words later would send chills through everyone who heard them. He had no eyes, just empty sockets staring at me. Police weren't sure what to make of it. Was she traumatized? Or had she really seen something impossible? What no one realized at first was that her account was only the beginning. Build up 0:45 to 2 o'clock. The next day, neighbors reported strange sightings. A figure moving silently through backyards, always at night. Security cameras captured shadows, but never a clear face. Detectives found footprints in the mud. No print for toes, no heels, just circles. The woman, trembling, described every detail. The way his head tilted, the way he moved unnaturally fast, almost gliding. Her fear was palpable. She couldn't forget the emptiness of those sockets. Rumors spread. Was it a person? A phantom? Some said it was a criminal hiding his identity in the most grotesque way imaginable. Others whispered something far darker. /mid-story CTA 2 to 2:15. If you're hooked already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more chilling stories like this. /main climax 2:15 to 3 o'clock. Then came the breakthrough or the horror. Police found a house on the edge of town, abandoned for decades. Inside, photographs covered the walls. And in every photo, the same eerie figure, always without eyes. Some images were old, yellow with age, some recent, almost lifelike. The detectives realized something terrifying. This wasn't a one-time sighting. It had been happening for years. And the witness was just the latest to see him. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 3 to 3:15. They thought they had found answers, but the figure wasn't there when they returned. And then, a chilling sound echoed from the empty house, the whisper that made their blood run cold. Asterisk, you shouldn't have come. Asterisk, to be continued. Absolutely. Here's the continuation of the story from the cliffhanger. /hook/ immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk, the whisper came again, closer this time. And then I saw him, or it, watching from the shadows. Asterisk, /suspenseful setup 0:10 to 0:50. Detectives froze. The air was thick. Every instinct screamed danger, but curiosity pulled them forward. The house had been abandoned for decades, yet something or someone was still living inside. The walls seemed to breathe, shadows shifting unnaturally. The photos they found earlier suddenly felt like warnings. One detective whispered. He's not just here, he's been waiting. Build-up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. Step by step, they moved through the house. Floorboards creaked underfoot, and every mirror reflected nothing. No faces, only darkness. Then, a door slammed shut behind them. A voice, low, guttural, almost human, echoed through the hall. Asterisk, why are you here? Asterisk. They turned, and there he was, the figure from the photographs. No eyes, just hollow sockets, black void that seemed to swallow the dim light. And yet he smiled. The detectives tried to speak, but their voices caught in their throats. The figure moved unnaturally fast, gliding closer, never touching the floor. /midstory CTA 2 to 215. If this is giving you chills, hit subscribe now, because the truth is far stranger than you think. /main climax 2:15 to 3 o'clock. Suddenly, a hand reached for the nearest detective. The air grew icy, breath visible in the darkness. Whispers filled the room, echoing from nowhere and everywhere. And then the photographs on the wall began to move. The eyes in the pictures, once blank, now blinked. And they weren't photographs anymore. They were live reflections of him, appearing everywhere at once. A horrifying realization struck. This figure had been watching for decades, and now it was aware of them. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 3 to 3:15. The detectives ran, but the front door slammed shut on its own. The whisper returned, chillingly calm. Asterisk, you can leave, but you will always see me. Asterisk, to be continued. Absolutely. Let's continue the story from the last cliffhanger. /hook/immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk, they thought they could escape, but the figure had other plans. And this time, there was nowhere to hide. Asterisk, /suspenseful setup 0:10 to 0:50. The detectives' hearts pounded in the suffocating darkness. Every exit blocked. Every shadow seemed alive. The air was thick with a metallic smell, like blood and rust. And the whispers, they were closer now, circling, teasing, promising something worse than death. One of the detectives dared to ask. Asterisk, what are you? Asterisk, the hollow sockets fixed on them, and for a moment the room went silent. Then a voice, colder than ice, answered. Asterisk, I am the watcher, the one who sees without being seen. Asterisk, build-up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. The figure moved again, faster than thought, gliding between walls. The detectives tried to follow, but every turn led them back to the same room. The photographs on the walls started to whisper, faint words that made their skin crawl. Join us, see what we see. One detective stumbled on a loose floorboard. Underneath, a trapdoor appeared, dusted with decades of neglect. Something primal told them. This was the next step, the only way to understand. They descended into the darkness, flashlights piercing just enough to reveal walls lined with more photographs. Hundreds of eyes, all empty, and in the center of the room, a chair, and a figure sitting in it, familiar and yet horrifying. No eyes, just that same hollow void staring. /midstory CTA 2 to 215. If your skin is crawling yet, subscribe now. The story is only getting darker. /main climax 2:15 to 3 o'clock. The figure rose slowly, gliding toward them. A voice, almost whispering inside their minds, spoke. Asterisk, you wanted to see, now you belong to the gaze. Asterisk, suddenly, the detectives felt their own eyes burning. A horrifying pull, like invisible strings, yanked at their vision. They tried to blink, to look away, but every sock in the room was watching. And in that moment, one detective realized the truth. The figure didn't need eyes because it could see through theirs. Panic surged. They tried to run, but the room seemed endless. Each step led them deeper into darkness, into a gaze that promised they would never leave. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 3 to 3:15. And then the last light went out. The whisper returned, clear and chilling. Asterisk, now you understand. And soon everyone will. Asterisk. To be continued. Perfect. Let's continue and move toward revealing the terrifying truth behind the eyeless figure. /hook/ immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk in the darkness. They finally understood, and the truth was worse than anything they could imagine. Asterisk. /suspenseful setup. 0:10 to 0:50. The room was suffocating. The detectives' flashlights flickered. Shadows dancing like living things. Every photograph on the walls now showed them. Their terrified faces, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. And in the center, the figure remained. Motionless, patient, eternal. One detective whispered through trembling teeth. Asterisk. Why is it doing this? Asterisk. The figure tilted its head. The voids where its eyes should have staring straight into their souls. And then, slowly it spoke. Asterisk. Because I see everything. And now you must see too. Asterisk. /build up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. A sudden pull yanked them forward. They felt themselves being dragged toward the figure, the world twisting and darkening around them. Then the whispers became screams, not around them, but inside their heads. Asterisk. Look, understand, join us. Asterisk. The detectives tried to fight, but their eyes were drawn irresistibly to the figure. And then it happened. The voids where its eyes should be, filled with movement, not faces, not images, memories. Every crime, every secret, every fear, flashing in unrelenting clarity. It wasn't just watching. It was absorbing them. And now, it was sharing the burden. One detective collapsed to the floor, screaming, as visions of horrors long buried overwhelmed him. The other struggled to look away, but something primal forced him to stare. /main climax, 2 to 3 o'clock. And then the truth hit. This was never human. It wasn't a ghost. It was something older, something beyond comprehension, an entity that consumed sight to see the world through others. Every eye it stole, every witness it terrified, made it stronger, smarter, eternal. The figure reached out, its hollow sockets inches from their faces. And in that instant, the detectives felt themselves fading, becoming nothing but witnesses. A horrifying understanding sank in. They were next. Their memories, their fears, their very sight, all would be claimed. The last thing they heard before darkness swallowed them was the whisper, soft, almost gentle. Asterisk. Now you see as I do. Asterisk. /final cliffhanger / to be continued. 3 to 3:15. Outside, the house stood silent once more. But if you looked closely through the windows and the shadows, 2 new faces had appeared in the photographs on the wall. To be continued. Perfect. Let's move into the finale, bringing this terrifying story to a dramatic conclusion. /hook/ immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk. The photographs weren't just memories. They were traps. And now, the detectives were part of them. Asterisk. /suspenseful setup. 0:10 to 0:50. Outside, the abandoned house looked empty, silent, innocent. But inside, the air was thick with a presence older than time itself. The photographs now held the faces of the 2 missing detectives, eyes wide, hollowed, forever frozen. A single whisper echoed from the darkness. Asterisk. They try to leave, but you never truly leave me. Asterisk. /build up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. The surviving witness, the young woman from the first sighting, was drawn back to the house. She didn't know why. Something, a compulsion, pulled her forward. Inside, the photograph shifted, showing not just the detectives, but her own terrified reflection. She froze. From the shadows, the eyeless figure glided toward her. For the first time, it spoke clearly. Asterisk. You can run, but the gaze always finds you. Asterisk. Panic surged. She tried the front door. It was locked. Every window reflected only darkness. The entity moved closer, silent, unstoppable. /main climax, 2 to 3 o'clock. The figure stopped just a few feet away. Its hollow sockets seemed to pulse, sucking the light and warmth from a room. And then, something incredible, terrifying, happened. She saw through its eyes. Not literally, but in her mind, she saw every secret it had witnessed over decades. Every crime, every fear, every death it had ever watched. The weight of it nearly broke her. Her own memories began to blur with the entity's experiences. And then it whispered one final command. Asterisk, join me or be forgotten. Asterisk, she had a choice. Fight and risk being claimed, or surrender and become part of the endless gaze. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 3 to 3:15. She screamed, and the room went black. Outside, the house stood silent, as if nothing had happened. But in the photographs lining the walls, the new face appeared. To be continued. Perfect. Let's craft the ultimate, chilling conclusion to this story. /hook/ immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk, the house was silent, but some things never truly leave. Asterisk, /suspenseful setup 0:10 to 0:50. The young woman's scream echoed, fading into darkness. When she woke, she was outside the house, the morning sun casting a false sense of peace. She thought she had escaped, but something inside her knew she hadn't. The photographs inside the house still held the detectives' faces, and now her own reflection appeared among them. It was permanent. A whisper lingered in her mind, faint but undeniable. Asterisk, you see now and you belong. Asterisk, /build-up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. Days passed, but she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows moved where they shouldn't. Reflections in mirrors seemed delayed, like they were alive. Her dreams were invaded by memories that weren't hers. Crimes, deaths, horrors she had never witnessed. She realized the entity had claimed a part of her mind, and with it, her perception. She tried to tell people, friends, police, even strangers. But no one saw what she saw. No one heard the whispers. And no one could help her. /main climax, 2 to 3 o'clock. One night, she returned to the house, compelled beyond reason. Inside, the walls were lined with photographs once again. The detectives' faces stared back, hollow-eyed, and there, in the center of the room, was the figure. It spoke directly into her mind. Asterisk, you cannot leave, for I am in you now, and soon you will see as I see. Asterisk, she tried to run, but the house seemed to stretch endlessly. Every hallway, every door, every mirror was a trap. Her reflection in one mirror shifted and then smiled back at her on its own. A horrifying realization struck. She was not inside the house. The house was inside her. /final cliffhanger/ true horror. 3 to 3:15. The whisper came again, calm and eternal. Asterisk, you are the witness now, and the witness never leaves. Asterisk, and as she screamed, the walls of reality itself seemed to bend. Outside, the house disappeared. All that remained was her reflection, watching. The end, or perhaps the beginning. Perfect. Let's craft the ultimate, chilling conclusion to this story. /hook/ immediate tension. Midnight to 0:10. Asterisk, the house was silent, but some things never truly leave. Asterisk, /suspenseful setup 0:10 to 0:50. The young woman's scream echoed, fading into darkness. When she woke, she was outside the house, the morning sun casting a false sense of peace. She thought she had escaped, but something inside her knew she hadn't. The photographs inside the house still held the detectives' faces, and now her own reflection appeared among them. It was permanent. A whisper lingered in her mind, faint but undeniable. Asterisk, you see now and you belong. Asterisk, /build-up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. Days passed, but she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows moved where they shouldn't. Reflections in mirrors seemed delayed, like they were alive. Her dreams were invaded by memories that weren't hers. Crimes, deaths, horrors she had never witnessed. She realized the entity had claimed a part of her mind, and with it, her perception. She tried to tell people, friends, police, even strangers. But no one saw what she saw. No one heard the whispers. And no one could help her. Main climax, 2 to 3 o'clock. One night, she returned to the house, compelled beyond reason. Inside, the walls were lined with photographs once again. The detectives' faces stared back, hollow-eyed, and there, in the center of the room, was the figure. It spoke directly into her mind. Asterisk, you cannot leave, for I am in you now, and soon you will see as I see. Asterisk, she tried to run, but the house seemed to stretch endlessly. Every hallway, every door, every mirror was a trap. Her reflection in one mirror shifted, and then smiled back at her on its own. A horrifying realization struck. She was not inside the house. The house was inside her. Final cliffhanger / true horror, 3 to 3:15. The whisper came again, calm and eternal. Asterisk, you are the witness now, and the witness never leaves. Asterisk, and as she screamed, the walls of reality itself seemed to bend. Outside, the house disappeared. All that remained was her reflection, watching. The end, or perhaps the beginning. Absolutely. Let's slowly move the story toward the ending, keeping suspense high and gradually revealing the full horror of the eyeless entity. This will feel like the final act of the series, building to a terrifying climax. #### Scene 7. The return to the house, midnight to 0:50. Asterisk visual asterisk. The young woman walks cautiously back toward the abandoned house. Mist curls around her feet. Asterisk camera asterisk slow tracking shot from behind her, showing the house looming larger than before. Asterisk lighting asterisk pale moonlight. Long shadows stretching across the ground. Asterisk audio asterisk distant whispering and faint creaking. Occasional low, ominous hum. Asterisk voiceover asterisk asterisk. Something pulled her back. Something that never lets go. Asterisk. She hesitates at the door. Every instinct screams to run, but she steps inside anyway. ### Scene 8. The Hall of Photographs, 0:50 to 1:50. Asterisk, visual asterisk. The interior is just as she remembers. Hundreds of photographs cover the walls. Asterisk camera asterisk slow pan across photos. Each one shows hollow-eyed figures, each more distorted than the last. Asterisk lighting asterisk flashlight in her hand flickers, casting dancing shadows. Asterisk audio asterisk. Whispers grow louder, overlapping like a chorus. Asterisk effect asterisk. Some photos subtly shift as if alive. One shows the detectives from before, now entirely hollow-eyed, their mouths frozen in silent screams. She reaches the center of the room and freezes. ### Scene 9. First full glimpse of the Eddie, 1:50 to 2:50. Asterisk visual asterisk. The eyeless figure appears in the center, slowly gliding toward her. Asterisk camera asterisk close-up of her terrified eyes, then a slow pan up to the figure's hollow sockets. Asterisk lighting asterisk darkness swallows everything except the faint outline of entity. Asterisk audio asterisk low rumble builds tension, whispers now audible as words. You see, now you belong. She tries to back away. The floor stretches endlessly beneath her feet, each step taking her deeper into darkness. Her reflection in a mirror shifts on its own. She sees herself hollow-eyed. ### Scene 10. Confrontation and horrifying revelation, 2:50 to 3:50. Asterisk, visual asterisk. The figure hovers closer. She feels invisible threads pulling at her vision. Asterisk camera asterisk POV shots intercut with wide shots, showing the room stretching impossibly. Asterisk lighting asterisk flickering lights make shadows jump, giving the illusion that the walls are alive. Asterisk audio asterisk screams of past victims echo faintly. A heartbeat grows louder. Voiceover, whispering in her head. Asterisk, I am the watcher, the one who sees through every eye. Every witness becomes part of me. Asterisk, she realizes the entity doesn't just see. It consumes perception itself. Every witness it encounters becomes another photo on the wall, trapped for eternity. ### Scene 11. Slow build to final choice, 3:50, 4:50. Asterisk, visual asterisk. She collapses to her knees, trembling. The figure hovers inches away. Asterisk camera asterisk close-up on hollow sockets. then her eyes widening in terror. Asterisk audio asterisk silence, except for her ragged breathing. Then the whisper returns. Asterisk, you can fight, or you can see as I see. Asterisk, she reaches a breaking point. Either surrender or attempt escape. Asterisk lighting asterisk shadows twist, seeming to reach out toward her. Asterisk effect asterisk subtle CGI of the photographs starting to pulse like living flesh. Hashtag cliffhanger / to be continued. 4:50 to 5 o'clock. Asterisk visual asterisk. The screen fades to black just as she raises her hand, either in surrender or to fight. Asterisk audio asterisk whisper lingers. Asterisk now you are the witness. Asterisk to be continued. Absolutely. Here's a graceful, cinematic ending for The Witness said the suspect had no eyes, wrapping up the story while keeping it chilling and memorable. Hashtag final episode / ending. The Witness becomes a keeper. /hook / immediate tension, midnight to 0:10. Asterisk, she thought the house would consume her, but the truth was far stranger. Asterisk, / suspenseful setup, 0:10 to 0:50. The young woman's hands trembled as she stared at the eyeless figure. Every instinct screamed to run, but the room had become infinite, stretching beyond reality. The photographs on the walls pulsed. The detective's hollow-eyed faces stared back at her, silent and eternal. And then the figure spoke clearly. Asterisk, every witness becomes me. Every eye feeds the gaze. Now it is your choice. Asterisk, / build up 0:50 to 2 o'clock. She sank to her knees, memories of past horrors flooding her mind. She saw the crimes, the fear, the terror the entity had consumed over decades. Her vision blurred, her sense of self fracturing. But somewhere inside, a spark of defiance remained. She realized the entity wasn't invincible. It could be contained if she embraced what was without surrendering entirely. Her reflection in a mirror shifted. For a brief moment, her eyes were hollow, but her expression remained human. / climax, 2 to 3 o'clock. She stood slowly, voice firm. Asterisk, I see, but I will not become you. Asterisk, the entity recoiled, unaccustomed to resistance. The photographs trembled, some cracking as though breaking under her will. The room pulsed violently. Shadows stretched, then receded. The hollow figure paused, tilting its head. Then, slowly it retreated, sinking into walls, the floor, the very shadows themselves. The whispers faded. The low hum ceased. She was alone, but the house had changed. It was no longer infinite. She could see the exit. The moonlight spilled through broken windows. / resolution, 3 to 3:50. Outside, she breathed the cool night air for the first time in hours. Or maybe years. The house stood quiet, abandoned once more. The photographs inside were gone. No trace of the entity remained, only faint impressions in the walls. Yet she knew the truth. The eyeless figure still existed somewhere, waiting for the next witness. And she would never forget what she had seen, or what she had resisted becoming. / final cinematic beat, 3:50 to 4 o'clock. Asterisk visual asterisk wide shot of house, fading into darkness, mist curling around its base. Asterisk audio asterisk gentle wind, faint whisper of the entity lingering. Asterisk I am watching always. Asterisk / closing line / voiceover. Asterisk some things see you even when you think they're gone. Asterisk fade to black. This ending,